gets the start in goal for the Wolfpack. And away we go. 2024 season underway. And immediately Olivia Kelly finds her left foot on the ball, and NC State in possession. Abby Hugh, one of the impact transfers, across, parried away, and Womack with an early touch. Annika Woner sails it high, and NC State wasting no time in attack. They didn't start with the ball, but 30 seconds in, the goalkeeper with a touch and a shot from Woner.
Right, and it was interesting to highlight that Nakata's turn there in the middle, an immediate first pass forward into Abby Hugh, immediately taking the ball, attacking the goal, and that's what you want to see, the energy level from the Wolfpack.
Ana Nakata, freshman from Osaka, Japan. Her first collegiate touch. This will be an NC State throw. Just the second ever meeting on the women's soccer field between NC State and App State. Last one was 12 years ago. The year before the Tim Santoro era. This is Hannah Jabril. And gives it away, Kaiten Kroboth for App State. Michaela, it is a short lead up in preseason. I know you as a player, right, you're doing summer workouts. Both coaches telling us they felt good about the conditioning of their team, their players coming in fit and ready to play, but it's really a short runway, isn't it, between starting your preseason practices and tonight?
Yeah. Early mornings and some late evenings. So I think, you know, with both coaches being very happy with the physical conditions that their players are coming in, really makes actually, you know, the preseason run a lot smoother, because you can kind of eliminate some of that not fun stuff and get straight to the soccer elements that you want to start building in as a culture and as a team of style of play.
Those preseason workouts, especially in the era of the transfer portal, when you have some new players coming together, new pieces, that's got to be huge for your chemistry and kind of learning how to play with one another.
Yeah, it really is, and I think it's, you know, both teams, both coaches were highlighting a good mix of returners as well as some fresh faces. So, you know, kind of that initial reaction of everyone just blending in that preseason, it's a little bit clunky at first, one might say, but it's a really good opportunity as well, especially with the Wolfpack, you know, getting some transfers. They have the experience, they understand what it's like to go through preseason, and while the Wolfpack, you know, NC State campus is new to them, they can kind of go off their previous experience and still nurture the new faces coming in, that it's a complete shock to their system. So that's always nice as well.
Kelly will send it deep. Hugh gets on the end of it. It'll be out for an NC State corner, dealt with defensively by Mumu Gisola.
Good ball in behind here from Kelly to find Hugh. This is the second time she's been on it tonight already.
Hugh with the left-footed corner kick. It found the head of Bree Weber, but popped up in the air and taken by goalkeeper Sarah Womack. Redshirt freshman from Kernersville, North Carolina. One of three talented goalkeepers, says third-year head coach Amy Haywood. And they're all pushing for playing time. That is a key storyline for both of these programs, replacing an outstanding goalkeeper. Big shoes to fill on both sides. It is Womack and Protopis getting the first start of the season. Maybe the first chance here for the Mountaineers. And Protopis wisely lets it go for a goal kick.
And, you know, going back onto the keeper comment, speaking with Coach Haywood, before. It's definitely a good problem to have, having so much depth from a goalkeeper position.
And Coach Haywood has that background as a goalkeeper, where she played at Ohio Dominican, has done a tremendous job at App State. Look, just a few years ago, they finished last in the Sun Belt. Last year, best finish in program history, finishing 3rd. And they bring back quite a bit from that team. 7 starters. A team that was elite defensively, but return all but 5 goals from last year. She told us we want to be who we were last year, what we've built on. You know, the first couple of years was all about building winning habits. She feels like they've done that. Now it's time to take that next step forward, and this is a team with some lofty goals in the Sun Belt.
Right, they're definitely not shying away from those goals, because, you know, as she's marked, it's almost like this is their proving ground season. It's time to, they've built, like you said, great winning habits, and it's the season of excellence where they want to refine that and make it a consistent trait where they're a winning program and a winning team.
Saw Janet Okeke, one of the talented freshmen for NC State, get by a couple of Mountaineers before giving it away. Taylor Chisholm trying to spring Hannah Jabril. Jabril keeps it in. Very patient in keeping possession. Just 7 minutes in, Michaela, what are your early impressions from what we've seen in terms of flow, tempo of this match?
I mean, from a formation perspective, I think it's really interesting how the Wolfpack are playing tonight, specifically surrounding the 2 center backs and the 2 holding midfielders. See Tim here. Typically, right, how his playing style is, likes to connect and move on the ball. And I think in years past, they've had really highlighted their attacking players. We've had, you know, the Wolfpack had star forwards, to name a few, Zierra King, who now plays at the NWSL, as well as Jamise Joseph. But right now, the returning players with Taylor Chisholm, Kelly, Brianna Weber, and Alex Moore, both can, all 4 of those players can play center back, but you see Weber and Moore stepping into almost a midfielder position, which I think is really interesting, and I think it really provides very much security in the middle of the field, and then you're able to see them exploit a few times Abby Hugh on the wing. So I think we're going to see a lot of production out of that, which is good to see.
Good pass played by Kroboth. Wood trying to get on the end of it. It's Chisholm with the head to it. And we get a whistle. Go NC State's way. Chris Zerner is our referee tonight. Benjamin Ellis and Derek Ambrositis, the assistant referees. Good move offensively by the Mountaineers. Wood called for the foul. Or pardon me, was that Barbosa? See everybody on that App State sideline on their feet and vocal into it early. Nakata. You mentioned Weber and Moore moving into the midfield. Jaden Thomas returns this year. Might get a chance to see her tonight. She has been full go in training, but they are going to limit her in the early part of the season. But one area that NC State expects to be much improved in last year. Remember, they had a rash of injuries last year, and a lot of them came in that midfield. They are expecting to have more depth and have more capability in that midfield this year. Okeke with the throw in. Moore feeling pressure, and that little jersey tug seen in front of everybody. That'll go against Izzy Wood. Well, that'll get the whistle most times. Right in front of the NC State bench.
I think you definitely saw a few hands up for that one.
Kelly sends it into the box. They've off the head of Chisholm. No, off of Mountaineer, they say. NC State starting its season off at home. Good number of home games in the early going in the friendly confines, which always helps. They've got East Carolina on Sunday, another in-state opponent. Izzy Wood has Kroboth running alongside of her. She'll take a shot that's wide of the post. Preseason all Sun Belts. She returns 7 goals and 4 assists. Both led the team last year. She's a creative player. And Coach Haywood telling us, you know, she was able to score goals sometimes even against the run of play. She said even when we weren't the better team. This year in year 3, we're hoping to be the better team even more often, and we think she can provide even more goals because she's just such a tough player, and she finds a way to find the back of the net.
Right.
This ball cleared right to Woner. Into the feet of Jabril. Well, back and forth they go, and eventually App State able to make the stop. Sarah Womack earning the start today. Expect her to start this weekend. Next match at home against Wofford on Sunday. And she was the only player for App State of the 3 talented goalies that they have that was here for the fall last year. Didn't play a minute, but as she redshirted. But remember, she was here for the spring too. Can you speak for those that are unfamiliar, right? Because you see on the ACC network, right? You see all these televised fall matchups. You don't necessarily see all the work that goes into the spring and how vital that can be to kind of prepare you for the next year.
Right. It's funny that you mentioned that because the off season is, you know, obviously everyone looks at the season and that's where the stats are recorded, but the off season is where you're developing. It's really where coaches are able to spend the time to highlight players and work on your differences, and I think it's a really good opportunity that Sarah Womack obviously took advantage of, and leading into the fall is now their starting keeper. So I think it's just a testament to how important the off season is because it affects the season.
But also Anna Claire Jacoby is a true freshman from Milton, Georgia, and Cincinnati transfer Molly Coles, both in the mix at goal for App State as they look to replace Carrie Eagleston, who set a number of program records in her illustrious career. We haven't talked as much so far. She hasn't been too troubled. Olivia Protopis, redshirt junior, who gets the start here in the season opener for NC State, but replacing Maria Echezarreta, who was injured for a lot of last year, and Protopis played quite a bit, valuable minutes. And so she gets the start, but again, NC State with some talented goalkeepers pushing for time. There's Protopis, 14 starts a year ago. And App State having some success in this far wing.
Yeah, as we're approaching, you know, 15 minutes in, I think we're starting to see both sides get into a bit more of a flow, starting to see some better chances. Have seen Izzy Wood get on the ball a little bit more for the Mountaineers, so I think the game will start to open up a little bit, as any game in the first 10 minutes gets a little crazy, but for the season opener for both teams, it's kind of just figuring it out.
Oh, the Mountaineer sideline did not agree with that call. couple of fouls here have gone against App State. See 6 fouls already, no cards awarded. Just speaking to that aggressive, kind of gritty nature of an App State team that, again, had such a program building year last year. Finished with an RPI of 75. Their best mark in nearly a decade.
And I think that's kind of the precedent as a program that you have to. As you said, you know, the Mountaineers were dead last 3 years ago, and I think it's a gritty way to get to the top, and they obviously have been producing results, and you know, one of their characteristics is being a tough team, so they definitely don't shy away from the challenge.
Owner tried to play into Hugh, and good defending there. Skylar Walk stepping up. Both these teams want to possess the ball, but not just for the sake of possession. They want to possess in order to be aggressive, in order to move it forward into the attacking third, as Hugh does here. Her cross blocked. More comfortable. Look at Kelly get forward. And a sliding challenge there by Gisa Sola breaks that up. Well, Kelly's longer service has been excellent. You can see that's a big part of her game. This one off the mark, and App State looking to get forward quickly. Showdown in the open. Olivia Kelly, 4 years at New Hampshire, using her extra year to come and play in the ACC. 61st career start tonight. How great is it, especially from your center back, to have that kind of experience? Weber gets it away from Kroboth, and away NC State goes. They are not shy to build from the back. Freshman Yuna Aoki not on the same page there with Hugh. Fortunate to get that back. Yuna Aoki planning to be with NC State after a year at Arizona Western Junior College. She started all 18 there and put up some numbers offensively in a more defensive role here. This patch a little too strong for Barbosa. It's 17 points for Aoki in junior college a year ago.
And I think with that transfer as well, you can kind of see how the women's game is developing. I think, you know, the women has been you see it a lot on the men's side, recruiting from junior colleges or NAIA colleges, where you don't see it too much on the women's side. So it is interesting to see how that race is kind of starting to level out now. You're seeing the level of players really from all over. Again, the Wolfpack recruited 5 transfers this season, so.
Just a little friendly push there from Hugh, and she's whistled for it. The Marshall transfer knocked into Stephanie Barbosa, who scored 5 goals a year ago. Mentioned they returned their leading goal scorer in Izzy Wood, right? But Barbosa, their second leading scorer. She had 12 points a season ago, and she's local. She's from Durham, right down the road.
I'm sure she has lots of friends and family here tonight.
It is move-in day here on campus, so the students, I don't know if they've unpacked their bags, said goodbye to mom and dad, and you know, many have made their way here to the soccer stadium, but there's a good amount of black and gold also in the stands here in the sport. Everything you would expect in an in-state matchup. course, these players have been on campus for a while, but everybody remembers their college move-in day.
Yeah.
What an exciting day.
It's always hot, frustrating, tiring. Yeah, never. You can never forget it.
This ball is going to stay in. Sydney Snowden tracks it down. The freshman getting the start in her first collegiate match. Freshman from Chandler, Arizona. 8 freshmen they brought in. She's the furthest from home, all the way from Arizona up to the beautiful mountains in Boone, North Carolina. Great atmosphere here at the Dale Soccer Stadium. The drums. And again, many from Boone have also made the trip. It was a good turn from Woner, but she was signaled for a foul. So the assistant referee. Woner, one of the returners for NC State, led him with 4 goals a year ago. Trying to turn with the ball, but I think maybe used her off arm is the call. And you could see the signal there right at the end of that replay, right? Kind of grasping the jersey. That seems to be a point of emphasis here early on.
Yeah, we've had
that has been called
fouls.
Every time we've seen a jersey tug.
Yep.
You never did that in your career.
Never.
Barbosa will try the near side. I love what the drum adds. Preferred over the vuvuzela for sure.
Yes, definitely.
We're in agreement on that.
I mean, the Wolfpack definitely always bring a great fan experience. It's always a great atmosphere. I think their stadium is also very unique. They have stands behind both goals, so it always is just a good time.
NC State sub 11.
Kelly Ford. App State enjoying a little spell of possession here. Haven't really seen a clean-cut chance on either side yet, Michaela.
Yes, we've definitely seen times where both teams have gotten forward, but nothing of quality of a goal-scoring opportunity.
Garrison trying to get in behind. Distribution from Chisholm. It'll get all the way to Womack. Chisholm got right into Wood there, made her give up the ball. Snowden now. The freshman connection with Garrison. And given away. Maybe a chance to break for Hugh. Woner's calling for it. Jabril back to Woner. She'll send it in. Womack first to it and comfortable with two hands. Northwest Guilford High School in the 3-3-6, twice All-State there. Again, she hasn't been truly tested with a big save yet, but she's found her hands on the ball a number of times, right? That's got to get you into the game early and feeling good. Shannon Studer looking to switch fields. Studer, a standout returner for the Mountaineers and a key cog in their midfield. Barbosa earns the first App State corner kick. NC State waiting to make a number of substitutions. Looks like App State will also have a sub. Sarah Witterich, who is back fit and healthy for App State. She's coming out. Gracie Giacoletto replacing her. Another somewhat local kid from Mebane. All right, Barbosa's corner. Pratapis with the punch, not away from danger yet. Left-footed shot, just wide. Olivia Simon had an eye for goal. And she's been doing a lot of work on that far wing. That time she found herself centrally. Remember, Giacoletto, she just came in, so her first touch, trying to spring Simon.
And we just saw a number of NC State subs come in, so it'll be interesting now to kind of see the dynamic as, I believe it was 4 or 5 subs.
Brooklyn Holt, one of them. She'll take the throw here. Antonella Macioto, another. Freshman from Uruguay. App State countering with a couple of substitutions. Walker Bristow has replaced Barbosa. Jaden Thomas back in for NC State. Macioto with a cross. Booted away. Paige Tolentino, another sub in. North Carolina transfer. And the first touch for Thomas. A player that, Michaela, you played with.
Yeah.
Missed all of last year due to the injury. You see her with the right knee sleeve, her 6th season in college. She was planning for last year to be her last. But after the preseason injury, she said, no, I'm going to stick around, come back for one more. Boy, it is a big impact for NC State to have her back out there.
Yeah, it's a very long anticipated return for her. And, you know, it's great to see her healthy again, playing again. She's such an asset to NC State on and off the field. Off the field really as a leader, but on the field even more so. She just adds so much that you can't really describe in words. So I know that they're very, very happy to have her back this year.
You, unfortunately, that long work back. What's it like when you finally retake the pitch?
You know, it's one of those things that I would never wish an injury on anyone, but it's really one of those experiences that is so humbling because you really learn so much about yourself, your support system. And I know, you know, Jaden Thomas has learned a lot through her injuries and what you can really overcome, and it really does bring out the best in you, despite an unfortunate circumstance. But it really makes you grateful and humble just to play here and the opportunities that we're given. One of the things about college athletics and App State as well, having pristine facilities, all these athletes are so blessed that, you know, despite any injury, the resources that we have access to is incredible, especially at NC State, with between athletic trainers, sports therapists, nutritionists. Anything that you need is at your grasp, and it's just amazing to have that.
Try to make the best out of a tough situation.
Yeah.
And so Thomas back on again. She's been full go in warm-ups, in all team activities, but they are going to bring her on slowly because they know how important she is and how badly they missed her last year. They want her for conference season. They want her for postseason. So didn't get a firm number on a hard minutes restriction, right? But
yep.
Likely won't see her play more than, you know, 40, 45 minutes here in this match in the lead up. But she's going to continue to build back. And again, this is a team for Coach Santoro that has a lot of depth. They've got about 16 field players that are really fighting for time. And so that's what the non-conference is all about, right? Is letting those battles happen and really putting everybody out there and seeing who shines brightest when the lights are on.
Right, and it's crazy to already talk about postseason as we're in the season opener, but Jaden Thomas is someone that they want around for that. That's when, you know, the maturity levels, the experience really comes into play in some of those postseason games. So it's really a good opportunity to have the fresh faces come in on both sides, kind of get some minutes in and dust off the cobwebs and get rolling as the games go on. But at this stage, again, got to take it one game at a time.
Hey, one game at a time for them, sure. For us, hey, it's a short season, right? Postseason's only a couple months away.
Which is crazy.
Wood trying to get through Chisholm, then collides with Kelly. Play continues. And a corner to kick. Kylie Switalski able to win it for the Mountaineers.
And there was a little glimpse of Sydney Snowden for the Mountaineers, another player that Coach Haywood highlighted as a freshman coming in. Really expecting some big things out of her this season as well.
Studer with the in-swinging corner right into the grasp of Protopis. Got to think those 14 starts last year going to be huge for her. And again, in replacing Maria Echezarreta, as she did last year. They do also have a very talented freshman goalkeeper from Germany, and Sina Tozel. Coach Santoro telling us, hey, whoever we go with in goal, we can be confident.
Right, 100%. And I think, you know, that's one of the unfortunate positions to have a lot of depth in, but at the same time, it's a very good problem to have, and it's a tough choice as a coach to make. But those are also the choices you want to make as a coach, those tough ones.
Mana Nakata tried to turn with it, impeded by Gracie Giacoletto. It will be an NC State free kick. We'll take another look. And you see our referee, Chris Zerner, right on top of it. Not quite hot enough. We're not taking water breaks tonight, but we are just into the 70s. On a hot day, the field is now gone into the shade at least. Well, according to our AccuWeather, it's still 85. It definitely was at the start of this match. I don't know if it still is.
Yeah, I would assume the mountains in Boone right now are a little bit cooler than the Raleigh humidity.
Not many places more beautiful than Boone in August. Fernandez Soto. Maciotto, cleverly done, and Womack makes the save. What a great play on both sides.
And that's kind of the development that you want to see out of the Wolfpack. Connect a few passes, especially on top of the box. And gotta love a little bit of individual creativity here to make something happen. I think that's going to be really key for the Wolfpack this year, of who is that, player that's going to come up big for them. It's a great effort here.
Antonella Maciotto. Again, freshman from Uruguay, and able to create a chance there out of not a lot, right? Defensively, that was very good, just what you would expect from App State. She really tested Womack there. And you mentioned for an NC State team, again, decimated by injuries. They played a top 5 strength of schedule. That's a bad combination, right? It led to a surprise down year for them, and a team that always makes the NCAA tournament. But they're looking for goal scoring. Hugh trying to cut inside, and well done defensively. I believe that was Gisa Sola again. It was. But the question is, where are the goals going to come from? Because in that tough year last year, they only scored 16 of them. Now they have more depth, and maybe by committee is the answer, right? Is where are these goals going to come from? But as you say, they do need players to step up and kind of raise their hand and say, look, I can score a few. Right.
They have a lot of talent, no doubt about that, especially on paper. But a lot of fresh faces as well to the Wolfpack. Abby Hugh obviously has a ton of experience, but she's new to the Wolfpack. A lot of those stats don't carry over into the ACC. So we're looking at players like that to kind of the question mark, right, of who's it going to be? And it's, even if it is by committee, yeah, team effort.
Like the thought process there from Studer, looking to combine with Wood. Part of the backbone of this App State team that again returns 7 starters from a year ago. They finished 3rd in the Sun Belts. But even with bringing all of that talent back, picks tied for 6th in the Sun Belt preseason poll, which really probably speaks more to the talent, the depth of the Sun Belt, having 7 top 100 teams in it. Some space here on the near side. Well done. Some last-ditch defending by Chisholm and the Wolfpack on the move that was started by Bristow. Studer upended. Now some options from this free kick. It was Maciotto trying to come in and just couldn't stop her momentum. So take me through the mind of the taker here.
This is a very good opportunity for Mountaineers. Dangerous position.
It will be a shot deflected by the wall and out for a corner kick. Regan Sturgill gives Wood a breather. See Savannah Hutchins, freshman forward from California, come in. Oh, a number of collisions on headers. Play continues. Guided away by Tolentino. Again, not a clear-cut chance from App State, but they're certainly knocking on the door.
Yeah, you're seeing this starting to get a little scrappy as both teams are getting more opportunities on goal.
Macioto knocked over. Maybe a little theatrical, says our referee. Good bit of skill to get it up over 2 Mountaineers. One, two. Yeah, took some contact, but I think was looking for the whistle, didn't get it. Into the feet of Kelly, swept away by Soto. Now NC State looking, maybe needing some hold-up play. Snowden with a strong tackle. Welcome to the match, Savannah Hutchins. Moore Park, California. About halfway between LA and Santa Barbara. Not a bad place to be, but neither is Raleigh tonight. Season opener. And college debut for Savannah Hutchins.
And it's funny you mention that because I know we talk about a lot of the recruits coming from all over the world, but even so from a different coast in the U.S., it's just so big. It's probably quite the weather and culture shock. So hopefully she's been adjusting okay.
NC State has a number of recruiting pipelines, right?
Mm-hmm.
From Germany, from Japan, and from Southern California. Alex Moore, who got the start. Also from Cali. It's Simon stepping in, and maybe a break chance for the Mountaineers. It falls to Garrison. Brooklyn Holt steps in and deals with it. Garrison and Hutchins, couple of freshmen. And the foul going against the Mountaineer, number 10. Good combination here. Tolentino. You see Mr. Zerner shaking his head. Goal kick. Paige Tolentino from Pinehurst, North Carolina. 4 years at UNC before coming here to Raleigh to join her younger brother. Brother Caden plays on the men's soccer team. Hutchins. Into the box it goes. Macioto. Nakata. You see the numbers back for App State. Exactly the scouting report we got from head coach Amy Haywood. She said, look, we're going to do a lot of running. You're going to see times where we get numbers forward. They've done that. You're going to see times where we get numbers behind the ball. They have done a lot of running in this first half. And as the clock ticks down, we'll see if they have time for any last-second heroics. 45 in the books, and no score between NC State and App State. Both sides in Charlotte led them to the D2 tourney and has now turned around App State. Again, finished last in the Sun Belt 3 years ago, but they are building, and you heard her say, no, we're not going to make any big major adjustments. We're just going to do what we've been doing at a higher level, and that's kind of not just what they're going to try to do for the second half. That's what their goal is this season, right? They feel like they've built that foundation. They're set to take the next step. And she talked about, I asked her, you know, what are the expectations this year? She said, you know what, we are expecting excellence. We have the habits in place. Now we can go out there and be excellent.
Right, and I mean, based on her response, I would have to agree with her just based on the first 45. I don't think, you know, major changes need to be made. I think, you know, App found themselves in really good positions. Defensively, they looked tight. Yes, the Wolfpack did have some changes, but overall, it was, like she said, I think some really positive signs coming from the Mountaineers.
Yeah, I think both teams, right, kind of similar in their takeaways from that first 45. Kind of what you'd expect in an opener, right? Did some good things, some things that can be improved. And of course, the big question here in the second half, Michaela, is can either of these teams put one in the back of the net?
Right, I think that's.
They both looked capable.
Right, the big question I think as well is if the Wolfpack can really build off of their playing style and really start to open up the game. I think that is going to be really critical for them to put one in the back of the net.
Well, we showed you on the weather, it was 85 degrees to start. And it has gotten into the upper 70s now. It's still humid. Again, both of these teams fit and ready to go as Izzy Wood might have a try here. Closed down by Tolentino. Point I'm making here, though, and you can speak to this. Look, it's hot for everybody in the stands, right? Okay, but when you're out there, you're running around. Match fitness any different in game 1 between game 10?
Oh yeah, I mean the adrenaline too off of game 1. I mean you can kind of see it. It's scrappy, maybe, you know, all the movement off the ball. It's just the first time, especially you know, a lot of freshmen coming in getting minutes for the first time. The adrenaline's at an all-time high. You're running, you feel like a chicken with your head cut off. So you probably don't feel very fit with all of the heat added on top of that. You can kind of see mistakes happen that you wouldn't necessarily see as we go on, but that's, you know, all credit to first game nerves, I guess you could call it.
Just be interested to see as we get deeper into this match. That's when sometimes the game can open up, right?
Right, right.
When you've been doing all of that running, that's very helpful.
Right, and you have in preseason too, you have the exhibition games, of course, but it is all of preseason, you're playing against each other. So I think, again, speaking to the first home opener, this is the first time that a lot of these girls are really playing together collectively against another opponent. So really just figuring that out as well is very challenging to kind of get in your rhythm and your groove per se.
You mentioned the exhibitions. Neither of these teams playing in exhibitions that are public.
Right.
Okay, so no scores to report. However, both coaches talking to them, what we can tell you is they seem pleased by those exhibitions and what they got out of them. And sometimes that absolutely is getting a winning score, right? But sometimes that is also just
playing together.
Playing together. Yeah, there's a lot of boxes to check getting ready for match number 1. It is interesting to note, you mentioned earlier about how it's probably a little nicer up in Boone right now in terms of cooler weather, right? It is interesting to note, though, in their exhibition, they did have an exhibition on August 10th at Winthrop. So, again, we don't have scores to report from that, but what we can report from it is it was hot.
It was hot.
So they got some experience. This isn't the first time, you know, that they've driven down the mountain this season.
Right.
And so you hope that that kind of helps them out a little bit to have experienced those conditions. Garrison colliding with Kelly, last touch by the freshman.
And I definitely will give a lot of credit to the Mountaineers coming on the road for the first game at home against an ACC. That's quite a way to open up your season. And got to give respect. They really locked down the Wolfpack for the first 45. So
play continues to the back post, sent in by Holtz. I was a little surprised there that Woner wasn't called for a foul. She knocked over Skylar Walk. Trying to switch it. Simon. She was busy in the first half. And coming over and dealing with it is Taylor Chisholm. We talk about the match maybe opening up a little bit, and we didn't see too much of this in the first half from either team, able to really dribble at the back line. Here's maybe a chance. Kroboth creates space. Sends it wide.
really good chance. She just didn't wrap her foot quite around it enough to get it on frame, but that's a very dangerous opportunity.
She walked through a couple of NC State defenders, stepped right past Moore there. Kaden Kroboth, she has plenty of family here tonight. Saw some of them wearing the Kroboth jersey walking in, and yeah, she is from Raleigh, Sanderson High School.
Let's go, back. 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 Let's go, back.
Score update. It was 1-0 in our halftime. Auburn has scored again. Never know what you're going to get season opener.
I'm gonna say, I don't know if you can quite call it an upset as a season opener, but a little surprising per se.
Top 5 Clemson.
Yeah.
Still a lot of time left in that one, first half. Warner, leading scorer from a year ago, trying to spring OKK. The freshman saved over the bar by Womack. Well, Coach Santoro said he's going to make some adjustments. We saw OKK in defense. She's moved into the midfield, and here she just almost moved onto the score sheet. The freshman from Canada making her collegiate debut. Coach Santoro said she will be as good as any defender in the ACC. High praise for OKK. Second defender comes for Nakata, closes her down. And good speed showed by Woner to outrace Shannon Studer for that ball. NC State maybe moving it a little more confidently here in the second half. See, looking to play quickly here again. Jaden Thomas. Didn't start this match, but came in as a substitute. Starts the second half. And some early subs to be made here. Not yet 10 minutes into this second half. Bree Weber back in. The freshman Maciotto also reemerges. Playing some different combinations here. Aoki in for Tolentino. Maciotto immediately on the ball, stays on it. Nice job, Izzy Wood able to take it down. Simon again with some real estate. Working on Holtz. It'll be a corner kick. Brooklyn Holt not in the starting lineup tonight. Made 11 starts last year, 17 as a freshman. So she's got a lot of its starting experience. Playing that outside back role. Studer, 3 assists last year, 5 in her career, sends it in. Sarah Witterich. Good ball. Barbosa, left foot blocked. Trying to work around Kelly, and she'll take a corner.
Good defending by Kelly there, just to not let anything. And Tapas cleaned up very comfortably there. I don't think it posed too much risk for her.
Trying to keep the sheet clean. She had 3 shutouts to her name a year ago. And App State had a program record 8 shutouts, but replacing their starting goalkeeper, Carrie Eagleston. Sustained pressure here for the Mountaineers, again expecting excellence. Witterich low, right into the feet of Holtz.
And you know, the past 5 or so minutes have definitely favored the Mountaineer side, as had a few corners, definitely have a lot of possession of the throw-ins. We see it more on the balls being played in NC State's defensive third.
And both teams have a little punch counter punch to them, right? Just a few minutes ago we were talking about NC State making a more concerted push and looking more confident on the ball. And then here comes App State with a run of, you know, to their credit, when they've got it into the attacking third, they're able to keep it for a long time, keep the pressure on. Owner had some time and space, able to turn and pick out her pass. It's Hugh. Gets it on that left foot. Dangerous ball. Here come the Wolfpack.
Yeah, really good effort from Abby. Of it here, put a good ball in. It's just unfortunate that no one can get on the end of it there.
Just missed that connection with Woner.
Yep.
Talking about the experience of the transfers. Remember, Kelly making her 61st career start tonight, while Abby Hugh is making her 60th career collegiate start. She was in the Sun Belt at Marshall. Studer gets by a pair, and then Simon goes right through the legs of Nakata. To the back post. Kelly is undercut. You see the experience coming in for NC State, and Coach Santoro, that was a point of emphasis for both he and his staff. They wanted to hit the portal a little harder than they have in past years, and they kind of dived headfirst into that portal this year. A lot of coaches in a number of collegiate sports, they told me, hey, you can get old in the portal, is what they say. You can add experience, right? And now the big question with that is, can you have players who have been in another system for 3-4 years? Can you get them to come together, buy in, of course, and gel?
Right.
That becomes the new challenge. But in terms of experience, they're not going to be wide-eyed in that first match with their new team. Simon gets past Holtz, shoots it high. And she has been dangerous on that wing, the sophomore from Waxhaw, North Carolina.
Yeah, you really see her again. Nice little individual move there, just didn't have the quality to really put it on frame to give Protopis any trouble there. And I think that's where we're just missing that edge of quality in some of these chances.
4 goals a year ago for Olivia Simon. Foul against App State. You see a couple Mountaineers ready to come in at the next opportunity. Kelly giving Chisholm time to come up from her center back position, see if she can get on the end of this. It's Okeke. Like a bicycle effort there and got it on frame. How good would that have been?
Wow, what an opportunity here. And I gotta just love the opportunistic mentality to just, why not? Score a bike.
I mean, you don't see it attempted that often. It's not often on frame. It's not often on frame.
She took that very well.
That's all you can do, right? If Womack makes the save, you just tip your cap and move on. Oh, you gotta love the creativity.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things too that we love to say, like, oh, that's very cool, but like that's a very difficult thing to do in terms of just timing and making correct contact with it. So well done to her for that.
We have seen a number of fouls in this match. That'll be the first card shown. And it goes against the Mountaineers, Sarah Witterich. Yellow card, the senior from Mebane.
And she is a player that Coach Haywood did highlight to watch this year. She's been out for about 18 months or so, recovering, and it's good to see her back, but fully fit now. That the Mountaineers are definitely looking to lean on her this season.
She did make 7 starts a year ago, but yeah, dealing with compartment syndrome, which is a painful buildup of pressure around your muscles. And it requires surgery to basically release some of that pressure. She's got the surgeries, recovered well, and now back fit and happy and healthy. The stoppage here is just dealing with some clock issues, just making sure we have the right amount of time left. Of course, the clock stopped for the first time. Again, it's been a physical match. It's been clean. Physical match, and so that's the first card that's been shown.
Yeah, and you can you saw it in the first half, right? There was definitely some bouts where it was definitely getting scrappy, and I think that was only bound to continue in the second half. And I would assume as the clock continues to wind down that we're going to see a bit more of that.
See Womack doing what she could, but that goes for a corner kick. Freshman Mana Nakata with the left foot. Easy done for Womack. Oh, an errant touch. Clean tackle in the end. Gisasola was almost in trouble there. Played over 20 minutes in his second half. No goals yet. Both teams maybe inching closer towards it. It's just a heavy touch, but Gisasola, you got to get that right. She did. Returning starter for this team, grad student from Miami, started all 18 games a year ago and played the full 90 14 of those times. Couple subs for NC State. Hannah Jabril, who started, she's back in. Pairing her with Macioto. Boy, Chisholm is so good in the air.
She really is. She is quite the presence, and she wins, I would say 90% of I would say
not an official stat,
lose.
but
yeah.
a lot.
She wins. Yeah. She
we'll
wins
go
them
90%. Here is Jabril. Step over. And the shot never got through. It'll be another NC State corner. Expecting big things from Hannah Jabril this year, and might she be able to kind of step into that trusted goal scorer spot? Again, they're taking auditions, right? She scored a goal a year ago as a freshman.
And I think taking to what Coach Santoro said at halftime, they're just looking to be a little bit more dangerous in the second half. And, you know, sometimes it just comes from individuals doing a piece of magic like that. So it's good to see her just take on a defender and go for it.
You know, Aoki on the back post there, nothing doing. Maciotto has it taken away. Switowski, or pardon me, Giacoletto. Saw the thought there from Hugh. Womack intercepts.
And Womack has seen a lot of action tonight, but has really cleaned up things very nicely across the back for the Mountaineers.
Get both teams with a new season opening keeper for NC State, of course, due to injury. Protopis got a lot of action last year and played at Louisville as well prior to, so played in the ACC before. It's Okeke who's down for NC State, hopefully just a cramp here. On the other side, though, Womack, no one for App State had logged a single minute in college. And so Womack, in her collegiate debut, has done well. Okeke, just, judging by her reaction, getting stretched out there, hope it's just a little bit of a cramp. Again, it's hot, it's humid, and they're going to make us up.
Right. Again, freshman debut. She's played tremendous amount of minutes already so far, and can be a little bit of a shock to the system as she's gotten bombed down the flank as an outside back and as well starting this half as a forward. So
mostly running for her.
Yeah.
We've even seen a bicycle.
Yeah.
That's a workout. And so she will come off as Caroline Fleming, NC State Sports Med. Okeke, who will miss about 3 weeks for NC State. She'll play in the U20 World Cup in Colombia for her home country of Canada, August 31st through September 22nd. See, Florida State has opened it up now. 2 more goals for the Noles, 4-0. And Michigan State surging ahead of Notre Dame. They have reached halftime down in Auburn, and that 2-0 scoreline still over Clemson. NC State wants a quick restart. Maybe a little too quick there. Not everybody was on the same page, but they don't turn it over. And Brooklyn Holt, as you see, will sub in for Okeke. Bree Weber had been on the back line for NC State in years past. She's moved into a midfield role this year. Again, shoring up that midfield. She, Alex Moore, again, we've seen Jaden Thomas at times. Mana Nakata has been there consistently tonight. A lot more options in the midfield. Being healthy makes a huge difference for this team.
Definitely.
And knock on wood,
Right.
The last couple of years, they have had preseason injuries just in the first couple days of preseason.
Yes.
And so that has been key for them that, that didn't happen this year in
They're
preseason.
coming out of
They're
healthy.
healthy entering game 1.
That's always the fear of preseason already, is it's a grueling few weeks, but it's definitely not fun when you're coming out of it with some injuries, as that's the last thing you need. So it is nice to see that the Wolfpack came out with more of a healthier depth team this year.
Maciotto trying to turn, and Walker Bristow is not having any of that. Whistled for the foul. It's Chisholm. Deflects to the top of the box. Nakata stays patient. Jabril now. Get it on that left foot. Cleared away. Macioto still shielding the ball. Gets through two defenders and somehow ripped a shot to the near post. Well, she does not need much space. And we've seen that a couple of times tonight now.
Really good effort again here by her, taking on 2-3 defenders. Nice little turn. Just her positioning in the box that's a difficult angle to take. And you can see from the shot here, just a little off balance and just didn't quite hit it right.
She hasn't found the back of the net yet, but an exciting debut.
Yes.
For Macioto. Wood has been quiet so far in the second half. But again, it only takes her one chance. Michaela, this game deserves a goal, yeah?
I think on both sides so far. Again, I think both teams have definitely knocked on the door quite a bit. Maybe, as I said earlier, it was favoring App, and I think the latter 10 minutes have favored the Wolfpack, so it's been pretty even, but both sides have kind of would lead to a goal scoring opportunity.
Just needs that, a little more quality in the attacking third.
Just that, it's that final piece, you know?
Macioto breathing down the neck of Skylar Walk, and the senior from Charlotte takes care of it. Safety first.
And that is honestly someone tonight. Walk has really done a lot of cleanup on the back line for some of these through balls that have been very dangerous. And she's done a tremendous job with just kind of holding it down back there.
Couple of subs here. Jade Bordelot in, Macioto out. First time we've seen Bordelot. And Soto giving Hugh a breather as well. Just under 15 minutes remain. Bordelot immediately gets ahead to it. Into the 6. She almost made something happen immediately.
Thought the second touch could have been a goal.
App gives it away. Jabril with pace to burn. Into the feet of Bordelot. And over hit intended for Aoki. Well, we talked earlier about the conditions, about it being hot. This would be when the match would start to open up. Both these teams well organized, right? We expected that coming in.
Yep.
If there was going to be some opening up, particularly in the midfield, this would be the time. And you see, maybe I'm reading too much into it here, Michaela, but little giveaway in the midfield, and you see what it can lead to.
Right. Yep. And say based on the conditions, now is definitely the time to mentally lock in.
Yeah.
As you're approaching, you know, the 10-minute mark. Teams are going to get in. Get caught in behind.
And the Raleigh native, Caden Kroboth. Annika Woner, leading scorer from a year ago. She'll replace Jabril. Just over the sideline, NC State looking to take the throw quickly. Holt tries to switch it up and picks out a good pass. Soto to her feet. And Snowden wins the ball back for the Mountaineers. Only momentarily. You saw Woner knew that pass was coming. She tried to get out of the way of it, just couldn't do it. That's an out in baseball, Michaela. Wood into the feet of Kroboth. And just too much traffic. Fernanda Soto, senior, couple assists last year. Versatile player, outside back or in the midfield. NC State stretching the Mountaineers from side to side. It falls to the feet of Switowski. She has space. Never challenged Pratapis. making her collegiate debut tonight. Redshirt freshman from High Point.
Again, we're seeing some disconnected passes. Can definitely tell some legs are getting tired. It's just really important, I think, for the Wolfpack to remain patient with their build-up. You can kind of see them forcing some long balls, not really getting anything on the end of it. You see a little magic there from Jaden Thomas.
She was certainly patient in making that move. Won her a little loose with it, but able to get it back and finds Nakata. Studer slides it along. Well done defensively by NC State. This, by the way, not just the season opener for the women's soccer program here at NC State, but this is the season opener for the 24-25 campaign for any sport, the entire athletic department.
Kicking off the season for NC State athletics.
And what was an incredible year last year in almost every sport on campus. It's Bordelot. Went under Snowden, she still got it. Weber drives it. And nobody there on the back end. Boy, a goal here for either side would really change the feeling of this opener. Both have played well enough. You see things getting stretched out a bit, a little extra space for Barbosa and company. Switowski just had the left-footed shot over the bar a minute ago. A step over and a corner off of Chisholm. Took kind of a dangerous deflection, just nobody there for App State, and Thomas escorts it out of the box and away from danger momentarily.
Yeah, you saw the cluster of green and red, or yellow and red there, I'm sorry.
And this is going to be a foul against NC State, and this is going to be a free kick in some prime real estate. Chris Zerner spotted the ball, and maybe Izzy Wood and company can make.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if I agree on that one, but
Protopis directing her wall. It is Wood. Oh, it whistles wide.
and that is a great take from Wood there. Just not enough. Almost got the bend on that she needed.
I tell you what, the sound from many that are sitting on on our end, on the press
yeah.
box side. I think that fooled a good number of people who
Yeah,
thought enough people were fooled that it made me second guess myself. I was pretty sure that it had gone wide, but yeah. And again, the App State fans who made their way here, I think maybe even wishful more than anything, let out a cheer that had gone in. It was well struck. Bordelot springs Woner, and a great slide challenge by Switowski. Nakata out to Aoki. Here's Soto. Bordelot using her size. And Bordelot whistled for the foul. There's the view from Pratapis, and yeah, certainly had reason to be worried about it. Looked like it had designs for the upper 90. Izzy Wood with 15 career goals. That's top 10 in App State history. Almost had her first of this season, in which will be her last season. Grad student. Well, we've reached the point now where if there's a goal in this match, it's going to be pretty dramatic.
As we're approaching the 2 minutes, the chances are going to be very few. So that clinical piece definitely needs to be there.
And again, with all the talent, all the depth for NC State, as Weber just moves strongly through that tackle. With all of the talent, the question is, where are the goals going to come from? Expected to be a by-committee approach. We haven't seen one yet tonight. Under 90 seconds to play, and NC State gives it away. Both these teams will be in action next at home. NC State against East Carolina. And App State against Wofford. App State in no hurry. They want the last chance of this match to be on this end. Soto with the roulette. Can't keep it in. Clock has been stopped here. It was actually signaled. I think that Soto, when I said can't keep it in, I don't think it had actually gone out yet. And then Giacoletto coming in, they ruled it actually last touch by Giacoletto and the Mountaineers. NC State does not have numbers forward with under 20 seconds left. Kelly sends it as far as she can send it. Barbosa drives it from deep, where and the Mountaineers. So handshakes all around. And both teams can take away certainly some positives from this one.
Absolutely.
But also some things to improve, certainly.
Right. I mean,